From the Hoosier Schoolmaster by Edward Eggleston. Chapter 1. A Private Lesson from a Bulldog. Want to be a schoolmaster, do you? You? Well, what will you do in Flat Creek District? I'd like to know. Why, the boys have to drive off the last two and lick the one afore them like blazes. You might teach a summer school when nothing but children come. But I low it takes a right smart man to be a schoolmaster in Flat Creek in the winter. They'd pinch you out of the doors, sonny, neck and heels afore Christmas. When Monday morning came, Ralph was nervous. He walked to school with Bud. I guess you're a little skeered by what the old man said, ain't you? Ralph was about to deny it, but on reflection concluded that it was best to speak the truth. He said that Mr. Mean's description of the school had made him feel a little downhearted. What will you do with the tough boys? You ain't no match for 'em. And Ralph felt Bud's eyes not only measuring his muscle, but scrutinizing his countenance. He only answered, I don't know. What would you do with me, for instance? Said Bud, stretched himself up as if to shake out the reserve power coiled up in his great muscles. I shan't have any trouble with you. Why, I'm the worst chap of 'em all. I thrashed the last master myself. And again the eyes of Bud Means looked out sharply from the shadowing brows to see the effect of his speech on the slender young man. You won't thrash me, though, said Ralph. Pshaw! I low I could whip you in an inch of your life with my left hand, and I never half try, said young Means with a threatening sneer. I know that as well as you do. Well, ain't you afraid of me, then? And again he looked sidewise at Ralph. Not a bit, said Ralph, wondering at his own courage. They walked on in silence a minute. Bud was turning the matter over. Why ain't you afraid of me? He said presently. Because you and I are going to be friends. And what about the others? I'm not afraid of all the other boys put all together. You ain't? The mischief! How's that? Well, I'm not afraid of them, 'cause you and I are going to be friends, and you can whip all of them together. You'll do the fighting, and I'll do the teaching. The diplomatic Bud only chuckled a little at this. Whether he assented to the alliance or not, Ralph could not tell. Hartsook first day was hurried and unsatisfactory. He was not master of himself, and consequently not master of anybody else. When evening came, there were symptoms of insubordination through the whole school. Poor Ralph was sick at heart. He felt that if there had ever been the shadow of an alliance between himself and Bud, it was all off now. It seemed to Hartsook that even Bull had lost his respect for the teacher. Half that night the young man lay awake. At last comfort came to him. A reminiscence of the death of the raccoon flashed on him like a vision. He remembered that quiet, annihilating bite which Bull gave. He remembered Bull's certificate, that if Bull once took a holt heaven and yarth and can't make 'em let go. He thought that what Flat Creek needed was a bulldog. He would be a bulldog, quiet but invincible. He would take hold in such a way that nothing should make him let go. Then he went to sleep. In the morning, Ralph got out of bed slowly. He put his clothes on slowly. He pulled on his boots in a bulldog mood. He tried to move as he thought a bull would move if he were a man. He ate with deliberation and looked everybody in the eye with a manner that made Bud watch him curiously. He found himself continually comparing himself with Bull. He found Bull possessing a strange fascination for him. He walked to school alone, the rest having gone on before. He entered the schoolroom, preserving a cool, dogged manner. He saw in the eyes of the boys that there was mischief brewing. He did not dare sit down in his chair for fear of a pin. Everybody looked solemn. Ralph lifted the lid of his desk. Bow, wow, wow, wow! It was the voice of an imprisoned puppy, and the school giggled and then roared. Then everyone was quiet. The scholars expected an outburst of wrath from the teacher, for they had come to regard the whole world as divided into two classes, the teacher on one side, representing the lawful authority, and the pupils on the other, in a state of chronic rebellion. To play a trick on the master was an evidence of spirit. To lick the master was to be crowned hero of Flat Creek District. Such a hero was Bud Means, and Bill, who had less muscle, saw a chance to distinguish himself on a teacher of slender frame. Hence the puppy in the desk. Ralph Hartsook grew red in the face when he saw the puppy, but the cool, repressed bulldog mood in which he had kept himself saved him. He lifted the dog in his arms and stroked him until the laughter subsided. Then, in a solemn and set way, he began. "I am sorry," and he looked around the room with a steady, hard eye. Everybody felt that there was a conflict coming. "I am sorry that any scholar in this school could be so mean." The word was uttered with a sharp emphasis, and all the boys felt sure that there would be a fight with Bill Means, and perhaps with Bud, could be so mean as to shut up his brother in such a place as that. Number 18. Which of the following statements about Ralph Hartsook is true? F. Ralph Hartsook is a feeble and barely competent schoolmaster. G. Ralph Hartsook is an inexperienced yet determined young schoolmaster. H. Ralph Hartsook is a typical, boring, stern schoolmaster. J. Ralph Hartsook is an experienced schoolmaster who does not spare the rod. Number 19. This selection is written in A. An omniscient point of view, B. Second person limited, C. Third person limited, D. First person. Number 20. In the first paragraph, in which Mr. Means is describing Flat Creek, the author achieves an authentic effect by using F. Plain style, G. Humor, H. Local dialect, J. Parody. 21. Which American archetypal character does Ralph Hartsook represent? A. Rugged individualist, B. A hero, C. Trickster, D. Best friend. Number 22. The conversation between Ralph and Bud reveals that F. Bud thinks having a fist fight with a schoolmaster is wrong. G. Bud is a civil but misguided boy. H. Ralph is not worried about the boys at school. J. Ralph is trying to gain alliance with the school bully. Number 23. If you wanted to research about one-room schoolhouses in the late 1800s, which source would prove most useful? A. Political and social movements, B. Social Science Index, C. 19th century American literature, D. Encyclopedia of American Education. 24. Ralph resolves to establish his position as schoolmaster by using F. Physical force and harsh words, G. His status as an adult and his intellectual superiority, H. Manipulation and trickery, J. A puppy that will win the boys over. 25. Which literary device does the author use to engage the reader? A. Characterization, B. Setting, C. Flashback, D. Symbolism. 26. When Ralph compares himself to a bulldog, it means that he F. will remain a boring teacher and let the boys rule the roost, G. will separate himself from the boys as an authority figure, H. will resort to using corporal punishment if needed, J. is determined to win the boys' respect without corporal punishment.